It wasn't enough the last time that you had to apologize on national television?
I had my doubts at that time, too.
3 years ago, we met an angry mother named Shonda. You see, Shonda needed to prove that her boyfriend, Richard Jr., was the father of her 2 daughters. But you know, it wasn't Richard Jr. who was questioning the paternity. Shonda was sick and tired of his meddling father, Richard Sr., and his wife, Gigi, for their constant DNA denials of her 2 children. Take a look at this explosive story. Why does Richard Sr. deny your kids?
He says that they're too light-skinned, they have curly hair, they have colored eyes, and I'm tired of you talking about my children. You said in my home.
Well, his wife is denying your kids.
She don't know nothing. Today, he's gonna know that those are his grandchildren.
Richard Jr., he's a good dad to these
He's
people.
a wonderful father. He is amazing.
This lady got curly hair.
You don't know what you're
That's
talking
not my
about.
grandson. And I don't want nobody to deceive him and have him raising something
Ain't
that
nobody
ain't
deceive
his.
him.
You sure that's your family?
Yeah, I'm positive it's my family.
When it comes to 3-year-old Sanayaje, Richard Jr., you are the father. 3-month-old Amina, Richard Jr., you are the father. Because now it's 3 years later, and Shonda is back on the show, and so is Richard Jr., and so is Richard Sr. and his wife, Gigi. Because after the last show, Shonda and Richard Jr. got married. They had a 3rd child, a girl named Legacy. Richard Sr. once again began to deny that his son, Richard Jr., was the father. Do you really think Richard would do this to you again?
I think that Mr. Rich is out of his mind.
Actually, Shonda, he's making you out to be a liar again.
He's making me out to be a liar. He's making me out to look like I'm some type of loose woman who was running around sleeping on my man. Like I'm this mastermind putting plots together to deceive my husband. These are his grandchildren, all of them.
How were they after the last show when you proved to him that those 2 little girls were Richard Jr.'s?
For a while, everything was fine, you
Yeah.
know. I would cook dinners. We would have family dinners together, just spend time with each other. He'll come. Me and Rajia, we don't have a problem because she knows what it is. It's my own father-in-law.
Right.
Once I gave birth to Legacy, he started with his bull crap again. All his delusions came out. We're here now because, unfortunately, I developed gestational diabetes while I was pregnant with Legacy, which means I had to be induced. I went into labor early by doctor's decision. And Legacy was born early. And due to the fact that she was not born on schedule, we had no one to sit with the children. So my husband had to stay home with our other children so that I can safely deliver our baby girl.
And he's upset.
So he was not able to be there. And because of that, Mr. Rich believes that I conspired my induction so that Rich could not be there. So because the real father was there.
So he wasn't there when you gave birth. That's one of the reasons he's upset. The fact that
Right.
Richard Jr.'s name is not on the birth certificate because he wasn't at the hospital, that's another reason. And the
Right.
third reason is, I think, he has a problem with you because, according to my producers, he doesn't like you because you're biracial?
Yes. I believe Mr. Richard thinks that, I don't know if it's going to be the Hispanic or the Caucasian or the Indian, but it's something in my DNA that just makes me be a woman who isn't faithful.
He doesn't like the way Legacy looks.
She looks just like her father.
He doesn't see any similarity there, huh?
That little girl looks just like her father.
He also thinks that this little girl, this 3-year-old, is the
Supposedly she's the black sheep. No.
What is that?
No.
What does that mean?
She's a beautiful little 3-year-old girl. That is your granddaughter.
He thinks that she manipulates the whole household.
If Legacy is a manipulator, she got them traits from Mr. Richard, her grandfather.
You recently lost your father.
Yes, I did.
And you want Richard Sr. to be your father figure.
He's supposed to be. That's my husband's father.
It wasn't enough the last time that you had to apologize on national television?
I had my doubts at that time, too. It's questions I need to be answered. You waited to the last moment to let me know or to let anybody
I don't
know.
have to let you know anything. You're not her father. You're her grandfather. Remember grandmom and grandfather duties?
If the father is supposed to be the father, the father is supposed to be in the hospital.
You know that Legacy is here, and you're still taking me through it. So I could have told you the day that I found out I was pregnant, you were still going to pull this bull crap, Mr. Rich.
Gigi, you've turned around. You're on the other side now, aren't you?
Yes, I'm on Shonda's side. Like, that's his grandchild. Like, I do visit him every day. I say, that's your grandchild. That's your grandchild. He say, no, it's not.
Is that little girl the black sheep of the family?
No, she's so beautiful.
You think she looks like your husband?
Yes.
I need to know why my child wasn't allowed at the hospital. Why my son did not sign that birth certificate that she did on her own. And I need to know why she looked.
He's crazy.
Like, she looked just like the other two.
Didn't Shonda explain to you that Richard had to go home to take care of the other two? And she
didn't tell me none of this until late, Maury.
So why didn't you show up to keep an eye on your other two grandchildren so that your son could be at the hospital? You're going to get told that this is your granddaughter like you were with the last two, and you're going to be given an ultimatum. Either you get all of this business out of your head, or that's it.
Legacy doesn't look like your other grandkids.
Maury, look at her, Maury.
She do.
She don't.
She do. Look.
She has no features. Look at her.
Look at
the
all
other
three.
Shonda lost her father, and you're her father-in-law.
And you guys step in.
Yes.
And she wants you to step up as her father. And she's,
You know, I love Shonda.
Whoa.
But Shonda just has some ways that I need answers because it's some things that's blocking.
Well,
it's nothing blocking it but
Give
your
her that
own
love.
self, Mr. Rich. You're the only one blocking it. Your thoughts.
what is this biracial thing? Well, let's get over this.
I come from a cultured family, an African family that I don't know. She mixed with a lot of things.
Right, she mixed
her
with
personality.
Spanish.
I'm black, and I don't need your approval on my ethnicity.
Look at my son.
got-
Look at
So
him.
I look
He's
at him, he's a
blacker than
beautiful
me.
black man, and he has a beautiful black wife standing next to him.
Richard Jr., how does it
What's up,
make you
Maury?
feel that your father is up to his old tricks?
I'm really disappointed in him, man. For real, you would think from the last time that we was on the show, he would step up and all this,
But that's too much like right for Mr. Rich.
and right now, like, yeah, it's making me real angry and disappointed that my father doing this right now.
You ever had a doubt that that's your daughter?
No doubts at all in my mind. I mean, look at her. She look just like me.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she do.
She look like you?
do.
Richard,
Yes,
your
sir.
father says that that little 3-year-old girl is a manipulator.
Why would you even
He
say
got some
that?
nerve to even to disrespect my child for one, disrespect me, disrespect my woman, and call my child a manipulator.
She's a 3-year-old baby, Mr. Rich.
If
That's how
anybody
we know
is a
something's
manipulator,
wrong.
it's my father.
How can you convince your father that you were not at the hospital the day that Legacy was born because you had to take care of your kids, and that's the reason why you didn't sign the birth certificate? Why can't he?
I'm his son, Marvin. He should respect how I feel for one. And
Trust.
if I say that if I was home, I was home.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
But
evident.
son,
I want to know what's his real problem that he had with Shonda, because you would
I don't
she
like
just
my
lost the
child
father.
to be manipulated. I don't like my child to be played.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I don't really think you're good enough for it.
You don't think I'm good enough for him? Well, guess what? If you were paid for your opinion, you'd have a lot of money. But unfortunately, your opinion doesn't matter.
Why does your father think about Shonda that way? That because she is not the daughter of 2 African-American parents, it's not right.
I don't know. He got some type of delusional thinking going on, Maury. She's biracial.
Just like he is.
So,
Just like you are, Mr. Rich, you are not 100% African American.
When I last checked, I was.
No,
You
no,
think?
You're not.
Richard Jr.,
you're not.
you have
Yes,
an
sir.
ultimatum for your father, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, what is
If he can't respect me, my child, or my wife, then he's no longer a part of my life.
That really hurts me, son. Because I'm here to protect you.
In the
Today.
case.
We'll stop today.
In the case of 3-year-old Legacy, Richard Jr., you are
You are the father.
You are the grandfather.
Again.
Yes,
Look
you
at
are the
you. Look at you
grandfather.
now. Okay, we'll see.
I do apologize, Shonda. And I do apologize to you, sir. All right,
Ain't
that's
no
my
but.
grandchild.
Why don't you try to be a father figure to that young woman, all right?
Yeah.
You are not the father.